Welcome to week 7 of our English 102 online mini session course. This is Professor Valerie Pell at Wilbur Wright and Harold Washington Colleges. Well, believe it or not, we have now made it to the midpoint of our class and we are moving past that point. If you think about this course is taking the path up and down the mountain, we've reached the peak this week. And soon we're going to begin moving down the mountain. This week we're going to be working on creating a topic sentence, keyword, and quote outline of our papers. We'll be sorting through our sources, finding the quotes we want to use, and plugging them into the major sections of our paper. I would suggest that students organize their week into about 3 different segments to accomplish this one task. So that might look like you'll have one day or time segment to organize the quotes and ideas for your first thesis support. Then organize another segment of time for your counter argument, and then a third time segment to organize your second thesis support. The work we're doing this week builds off of the work we did in the research proposal in terms of identifying and parsing out the different components of your topic, claim, and reasons, which we combine for your thesis, but also that we will combine and recombine for your topic sentences that signal the major sections of your paper. We need those explicit components for the work in that outline. The topic sentence, keyword, and quote outline video goes step by step over what I'm expecting this week, so please be sure to check it out. It really will help you and your grade if you take time to review that. This week we're also reviewing direct source quotations and how to use them, so be sure to check out that video as well as the review. Okay, so let's look specifically at the things that we'll be doing. Like all weeks, we'll start with the activity schedule. Okay, we are in week 7 of our course, so the first thing you'll want to do is read They Say, I Say, chapters 3 and chapter 9. You'll also want to review the readings in the readings subfolder or module and content, the Babin section on quoting. That's page 127 or 128 of the book, or 134 to 135 of the PDF. The page numbers in the book are a little bit different than the actual page numbers of the PDF. Then there's 2 videos to watch. The YouTube video on the topic sentence, keyword, and quote outlines. I really go through that activity here, which is your A7. Which we'll look at in just a minute, and then also watch the lecture on direct source quotes. Okay, then in terms of the graded activities you have, there's a quiz for this week. There's also, I want you to make an appointment or make your plans to go either make your appointment to have your writing center visit. That may be a remote visit with one of the writing center consultants. So I'm okay if that's a remote visit, but I do want you to have an appointment with one of the writing center consultants. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so over the next several weeks, I'm hoping that students will have a visit with one of the tutors or consultants from one of the writing centers or writing labs. Many of those centers have virtual appointments for students during this time. And it's important that you visit one of the writing centers or labs and have an appointment with those consultants, because those consultants are faculty members, and that way you'll have one-on-one feedback with them. So go ahead and look through this assignment. You will need to get proof of your visit, which often will be just a screenshot from Grades First, and you'll submit that proof at the end of week 11. So I'm putting this on your radar now because you might want to make multiple appointments, because if you have multiple appointments, you will get extra credit. So so it's not due until week 11, but I want this on your radar now so that you will be able to fit it into your schedule. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Also, this week, and this is our major assignment, is the keyword and topic sentence and quote outline. So for this activity, you will be creating an outline of the major sections of your paper. You need to use the mandatory paper formatting. I want you to state your counter argument before your thesis and then give your complete persuasive thesis and label both of those. And then I want you to have a robust alphanumeric outline, but you should be using mostly keywords and phrases in your outline for everything except for your thesis and your topic sentences that signal the new section of your paper. If you download this document, there's a template at the end. Okay, so I want you to label each section. First, thesis support, second, counter argument and rebuttal section, and second, thesis support. And I go through, there's a video where I sort of walk through exactly what I'm looking for in this paper. The idea here is for you to go through all those sources that you found in your research and sort of plunk them into the different sections of your paper. So organize them, figure out which source is going to go into which section of your paper. And then once you've had those parsed out, then I want you to go through them and find the quotes. And then once you find the quotes, then you will have an idea of what your key words are, the things you're going to write about in those sections. Okay, and if you look here, there is an outline here for you to just sort of fill it in. Okay, so it says counter argument, type your counter argument there. Thesis, type your multi-part thesis there. And then see it's labeled first thesis support section. And then number one, this is where you will put your topic sentence that you will revise to avoid redundancy, but it should state your topic, claim, and your first reason. And then you'll see where it says the first supporting detail, that should be a key word. Okay, that you don't need multiple sentences. This is meant to be mostly you organizing your ideas. You don't need to write very much this week. The organization is what matters. So I would rather you have very minimal keywords and more quotes. That's what I'm looking for. So your first supporting detail keyword might be just a short phrase. And then like here where it says introduce, quote, or paraphrase, that could be there. That could just be a placeholder because you don't actually need to introduce that this week. You just have to the outline that I'm giving you is a guide to help you be able to write your paper later. So you don't actually need to introduce the quote, but I want you to have that placeholder there that I've already given you that says introduce the quote or paraphrase so that you remember when you're actually writing to introduce the quote. And then you see here, give the quote or paraphrase with the in-text citation. Yeah, actually give the quote there. I want you to put the quote in your paper with the citation. And then where it says explain the quote or paraphrase, you can just leave that as a placeholder. And then see where it says second supporting detail, like the second thing that you want to make, the point you want to make about that second thing in this section of your paper, use just a keyword or phrase. Okay, and then leave the placeholder for introduce the quote, then give the quote, actually find the quote, and then explain. And so you might have more than 3 supporting details. See how I have first, second, or third supporting detail here? You might have more than that. You might have less depending on your details for your own paper. And then you'll also see here where I have connect your evidence to the central claim of your paper. That's really important. Students often forget to do that. So I want you to keep that placeholder in here so you remember to do that. And then you'll also see that I've got things here for your counter argument and rebuttal section. Notice how it's labeled so you and I both know when you're moving into that. And it's kind of the same thing where you have some of the placeholders and I want you to move your quotes into there. Okay, and to put into your keywords. Okay, so really this week is about organization and you taking all those sources that you have from your research and figuring out which ones you're actually going to use. Remember, you need to have integrate at least 7 different sources into your final draft of your paper, and they need to be from those different categories. You need a print book, at least one online source, at least one peer reviewed journal article, and at least one other media like a podcast or a film. So this may seem like a lot of work, but really the work is in your organization, parsing out your ideas. You shouldn't be writing whole complete sentences except for the topic sentences that signal the change to your reader that you're moving on to the next section. And then you'll also see at the end the works cited is there because I want you to actually have the works cited entry for the sources that you use. Okay, I think that's it for this week. So let me know if you have any questions and have a wonderful week.